D- d- Hello.
Hello.
We should be up. We should
That
be
was
live.
that was a bad live transition right there.
So-
that one didn't work.
Can you give us a countdown when you're going to go live, please?
Yeah.
yeah, when we're going live, David.
I think we went live a few seconds ago.
I'm sorry. Let's resume our discussion of race relations in America. Let's continue that discussion that we're definitely happening on this offline
we were
podcast.
definitely happening.
That was
definitely
definitely happening on this offline podcast that we're not live right now.
I'm
No, of
actually
course.
going to make all of you be quiet for a moment because I can do that. And I'm gonna play a thing from Jake.
Hello everybody, Jake here, coming at you with a special announcement. If you haven't noticed already, we are now Twitch affiliates. Hooray, we did it! I just want to take a sec to thank all of you, because without all of you guys, we really don't have a lot of live streams, and it's kind of crazy that we're still able to qualify for something like that. But, it's all because of you guys. You guys come every week. There's so many of you. And it's why we do what we do. And the fact that you guys keep coming back, give us your great questions, your great feedback, all that stuff. That's why we do it. So, want to say thanks. And, yeah. I want all your bits all up in my face.
Oh, hey, we're back. So that was a message from Jake saying a thing.
Sounds good.
Apparently we're affiliates. Apparently that means something. Hey, here we go. Let's talk about Star Citizen. So
Star Citizen.
that was the intro for today, by the way, because I was way too lazy today to try and do one.
Write an intro.
Yeah, just gonna drink.
You're just gonna drink. Well,
Mhm.
that's
you
concerning.
You three talk. I'm just gonna drink.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So well, wait. Before we get started, Citizen, I feel necessary. Off the word drink, I have recently discovered the wonderful substance that is absinthe. Holy shit! It's so good. It's like liquid. It's like black licorice alcoholic. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Okay.
It's made of wormwood, man.
All right.
So, did anything?
Well, I'm glad you are enjoying your absinthe.
Did anything interesting happen this week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is this where we should be talking about it, or like, do we have another program where we talk about interesting things? Should we just like, hang around and?
The actual discussion one is called the captain's table, and that's what happens immediately after this podcast.
It's true.
Except that's the good podcast.
Actually,
so
I'm pretty sure that's the one where everyone just gets shit faced.
you're not wrong. You're not
Well,
wrong.
as opposed to this one where you just get shit.
No, this one's just me. That one's everyone.
David, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. You're already drinking. You have a problem.
I had to go buy beer, and then there was beer in my. You're drinking too.
I'm drinking water.
You're still drinking.
In the wise man once said, upon asked, "Do you have a drinking problem?" He said, "No, I have some beer waiting for me at home." Ozzy Osbourne, what a wise man.
Yes, wise. Okay. We're gonna skip all of this and go right into show and tell.
Okay.
And we're gonna start with there's a beautiful image there that was done by Mr. Hasgaha.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Mr. Hasgaha is fantastic, and he deserves even more credit than the credit he already gets for his screenshots, because they're great.
Yeah, this is an image of Selen from Comrade 275. And this is a 6K screenshot downsampled to 4K. And I just wanted to say, wow.
Yeah.
Also,
I could never
probably-
pronounce I could
probably
never
playing
pronounce his name, but Mr. Hashgaha is consistently like makes the prettiest shit. Like you think that like CIG artists are putting out like the best like artwork in Star Citizen?
Nope.
Wrong. It's wrong. It's random asshole taking screenshots.
Yeah.
It's-
He
that's where it's all
should
coming
actually
from.
be hired just to do screenshots for Star Citizen, because
marketing art.
yeah, just
Yeah.
have
Would it
him
make
market-
any difference though?
Do you remember like the there was a long time ago where one of the subscriber perks when they first rolled out the subscriber program was like it was like wallpapers, right? Like Star Citizen
Yeah.
wallpaper stuff, right? And then they roll out the initial batch and then they completely like never updated it ever again and completely like abandoned it. And they haven't updated it in like 3 years or something like that. And it's just obnoxious at this point. And it's just, the reason they probably haven't is because this guy just kind of took over.
Pretty much.
It's
Yep.
like, why would we do it? He's doing it for us, so it's whatever.
So moving
Uh,
on from Hesgaha, let's go down and look at some gifts, because there's a lot of gifts from today, and we're going to start with the Hornet flying in a 3.0 asteroid field.
Yes. Thing I actually liked most about this was that you could see the procedural planet in the background, or procedural moon in the background. But also everything just looks really nice.
It looks like everything's more spaced out. Like the asteroid fields that we have right now are kind of like they feel off. I guess there's something about them.
They're trying to make
It's
them
not-
more. I mean, you'll never see a game actually do a real world asteroid field because they tend to be
asteroid fields like visually. It's like you're not in an asteroid field.
exactly.
It's like
Um,
one asteroid and then there's no other asteroids. Like
Yeah.
there could be miles between asteroids. It's not.
There's too much space in space.
Yeah, there's a lot of space.
The only thing
lot
that
of the
actually looks
things-
like. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that a lot of the things that I think put me off, especially with the asteroids, is the fact that they are stationary. A lot of them, the big ones, they're just completely stationary, completely fixed in every way, and I don't like that. Change it.
I find it
Agreed.
interesting that little moon in the background there looks a lot like Jupiter, and then that planet there looks a lot like a moon.
You fucking caught him. You caught him, David. He wasn't really taking screenshots. No man has that much power. What he's doing is he built a spaceship, he built a space station, and he went to Jupiter and he took a long exposure image. Right? You caught him exposed. You have exposed him today.
Oh man.
Why did I invite you back on? What was I thinking?
It'd been enough time, and you had forgotten
It's
like
true.
my past transgressions, so
Yeah.
you just let me back on.
Yeah.
I think it should be
Oh, hey.
noted that
Hesgaha is in
the
there.
oh awesome.
Yes, Hesgaha, we were talking about you.
Yeah, the only thing in like real world that resembles like game asteroid fields are rings around planets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
come
even
close.
those are like mostly like dust and stuff. It's like not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're so close together and they just like wreck everything and
It-
turn
it-
it all
it's-
into dust.
It's like sand. It's like a beach. It's like space beaches where it's just like the reason there's no rocks on the beach is because it's all been worn down to sand. It's
There are big things.
Yeah, and
in
I
it,
hate
but they're
those
just
space
few and
beaches
far
that are
between.
just stones.
Yep.
It's not a space beach if it's just stones.
Also, the Aurora looks beautiful all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
The Aurora is, I guess, one of the first of the ships to get its up. It's what is this? Like its 17th update at this point?
18th,
18th.
at least.
At least it got another update. It looks really good, and now it has a like Hello Kitty style.
Yep.
Don't you knock the Hello Kitty style? I know
We need-
someone who is very fucking excited to have a spaceship with that fucking cat on it.
Hey, I'm excited. That cat looks cool. It's a cool cat.
It's a completely original IP. I love that idea.
oh.
Instead of the color, can we just talk about how nice the seat looks?
No, dude, like it's like the whole. Okay, this has been the thing. the luxury seat thing in like the weird luxury seat upgrade in the Auroras. Like I'm just like the entire time I've been in this whole community, it's been like, what? No one fucking cares, Seiji. Like what? It was like a weird thing to me. I suddenly desire the luxury seat for my Aurora. I don't know why, but I need it. My space butt needs to be space something.
Here's the
This
thing.
this is going to be the thing. Go on, Eris.
Here's the thing. Like CIG are hopefully still we still don't know. They're hopefully still doing like branded Star Citizen HOTAS that are like, you know, MISC branded or branded to the various different manufacturers.
See about
They
that.
need to make seats. They need to have a deal with like a gamer chair to make RSI like
That would
the
be beautiful.
the luxury RSI seat as a chair that you can actually buy.
I want to actually sit in an Aurora. That'd be great.
And make like a limited run of like 50 of them. They'd sell out instantly.
Yeah, it'd be like $400,000 each, but all right.
They would sell.
Do you think it's going to end up being a thing in game that everyone trashes either their first Aurora or someone else's Aurora, takes the seat, and has this seat transferred to every single ship they own?
Just has it sitting on a shelf in their hangar. That's
Like-
my first Aurora seat.
Yeah, no, like the ship itself is just a vessel for the seat. Really, it's yeah.
But take just a moment to go. Nice job, Elwin.
Yeah,
It looks beautiful.
it looks good. It does look good. You know what else looks kind of good?
What's that?
The cargo grid.
The cargo grid does look good. This looks like what will be the first implementation of cargo. So you'll buy cargo and it will fill up your grid.
Yeah,
You
so
have-
it's still like not to the point where they want it to get to eventually, where it's like, hey, this box is a box with this item in it, and you can pick it up and you can walk away with it, and then you will have one less of that in your cargo hold because you walked away with it, and then you have to go pit back and stack it yourself there, and the AI are physically grabbing boxes. It's going to be like a elite. Basically, what this is currently is like the elite cargo system,
Yeah.
but with a physical like representation
Representation,
of
yeah.
it in the cargo.
This
And
is
the first
cargo V 0.1.
All right, and we need
I-
three more years, and then they'll have cargo V2, and cargo V2 will encompass every game system.
Yes.
Well, I do
yeah,
understand your cynicism. I mean, we have seen the pickup and carry stuff. It seems to be coming along pretty good. I just don't think it's ready for prime time, so they didn't want to push it.
all I care about is that cargo gets to the point where you can like get a hull A or B full of liquor, start driving along, go to the back.
You don't
open
drive in
up-
space.
I never said it was in space. Maybe on a planet. You don't know me. Open up a
He's
crate
Yeah,
of the
you're
liquor.
Eris.
Open up a crate of the liquor and start just picking liquor bottles out of it, drinking them, and watching it slowly tick
look,
down.
man. Look, I know.
Oh my
it's
God,
weird.
you want
If-
UPS.
if you're a trucker, you look just to stay sane. You need a road handle. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
You just need a handle for the road. Just let's go.
Yeah.
Follow Jack.
All right, before we get too far off track, we should continue because there's a lot of these.
There are a lot. We're moving on to Connie damage now, actually. The first
Yes.
of the two Connie damages. Lots of smoke, lots of sparks. It looks good.
I'm kind of over the Connie just in general.
I've been
you
over
know.
the Connie since the Connie was announced.
Like
It's
I like
It's
the
a brilliant
Constellation.
example.
I like the Connie better than like the Retaliator, which is kind of like its more militarized cousin as far as like size goes anyway. And I just I've had too much time with the Connie and not anything else, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ignore it. We're gonna get more ships that are bigger, and I can ignore it for like 2 years, and I can go back. I'm like, oh, the Constellation's actually really great. But like I'm Connied out too much, man.
Sorry, I'm discussing the Hull
Yes.
series landing.
The Hull E can land as well, but it's the same restriction as the C to D. They're C and D.
So Hull series ships can land on planets. Hulls A and B can land with cargo, I think. Hulls
Yep,
C
they
through E have to be empty. But I mean, looking
Yep.
at these Connie damage states, what? What?
Nuir says he might be the size of a planet when UK team gets done with it.
Entirely possible, yeah. But like the Connie damage states, between all of the really nice particle effects and the lighting and stuff, I like it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna make the ships feel a bit more alive, and I still don't know if you're gonna see it that often because ships die pretty fast. But I hope that we get to, like, you get into battle and you get a few minutes of these emergency states. I hope they don't, go Shiver,
yeah.
go.
Sir,
Shiver.
the way that they've done this tech, right, is what we saw in the video is everything on, right? Damage state on absolutely everything, full and on. They've done this tech in such a way that if you've only taken damage in a particular side of your Connie, let's say the starboard side, then only this starboard side will have shit spewing out of the vents and
Yeah.
what have you. The other side will look pristine or have shit on the wall, depending on what you've done in the past. But that sort of thing is very cool because
I don't know how true that's going to be for the Constellation, because there's no like left or right room. So like if you get hit on the starboard, just that room period, probably what's going to do is probably going to kick that room that got hit into the damage. Into
But
the damage
even the
state.
sides of the
the way they've done it, though, they can actually have the model. If you take impact on just the starboard side, only the starboard side will display damage internally and externally. I mean, you might have some vents.
Oh,
spewing
yeah,
everything out,
yeah,
but
yeah,
that
yeah.
The lighting unit is universal, but the actual like
damage state itself. Yeah.
I will also say, I just
mm.
thought of something, but like, think about the amazing screenshots that Mr. Hizgaha has been able to get so far. Can you imagine what he's going to be able to do once the like emergency lighting and the fog and everything else are actually in game and the game starts looking good? Because
there's a lot of graphical
Shit.
updates with 3.0.
yeah,
I will just be happy to be able to play Star System for longer than 30 minutes without immense eye strain with an FOV slider thing. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
speaking of eye
absolutely.
strain, eyeballs. This is the smallest, most insignificant, and yet at the same time most amazingly detailed piece of
You
shit
didn't know what it was until I told
CIG
you.
have ever done. Well, shiver. It's an act.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're just carrying it off so well.
You got an ice cream. Someone got an ice cream. Did
Oh,
you know that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Can I have an ice cream?
Yeah. Come on down.
Oh.
I'll get you one.
All right.
This is
I'll be there in 5 hours.
like you can see the little tiny pieces of the eyeball that are kind of screwing up the eyelids, and they fixed that. So now there's no eyeballs coming through eyelids. And what?
that actually isn't what was happening there.
No.
In the fold crease of the eyelid, basically the polys were way too close together, and when it basically had them folding over each other, and it created
The eyelid itself was clipping into itself.
Yeah. Okay.
Instead of the eyeball was not clipping out of the eyelid.
It's
And so
still,
they
You had the
basically
effect of
fixed
the
that
eyeball being
here.
visible on the outside,
it's
I think is
still-
what Eris is trying to say.
it's ridiculous that something that you'd probably honestly never notice in the game. Like
Yep.
how much do you notice that? That
Well,
is
I mean,
so
to be
slight.
fair-
a very
Well,
long
people
time for
noticed in
anybody
Mass
to
Effect
notice.
4.
To be fair, I've been streaming Star System lately. I've been playing a lot of this game. 90% of the content in this game is finding another person just kind of edging into their face. So, like, I mean, it's not that far off.
Fair enough.
And,
All
and,
right.
and eventually, here in the next patch, I'll be able to kidnap someone, leave them on a deserted planet, and then get on my ship and do the same thing and edge up to their face slowly. But we'll be on the moon.
Yeah. Okay, what's next, Mr.
Female armor, female light armor.
Yeah, these look good. Actually, I wanted to address something. People were bitching about the hairstyles in these two.
Yeah.
I did want to mention that both of these were not designed to show off the hairstyles. They were designed to show off the armor. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but it might make a difference of when it was recorded.
I'm gonna let you on a little secret. In video games, like 90% of hairstyles are fucking obnoxious and dog shit, and just no hair. They're all bad, man. They're all bad. Like in an MMO, there's a reason like where everyone has like the same two hairstyles because those are the only good ones, and all the other ones are just obnoxious and terrible.
By the way,
I judge people for their characters' hairstyles in video games. Like I will. I'm like fuck that guy. I'm not even fuck him.
No,
I'm not talking to him.
So should we just all be bald and then you can't judge anybody?
Well, and that's what's going on currently. And
Yeah.
Trust me. In current Star Citizen, there's still a lot of judging.
When we're all the same character.
I think
Yeah,
the
but some of them have got some shifty eyes.
I have to say the armor looks really, really nice.
the armor looks really good, and again, I can't say enough times how happy I am that they haven't managed to find a way to make space armor look skimpy. Because
So I really like the new all this new armor stuff, and I don't really necessarily like it more than like the mail armor, but like I like this. I'm calling it the Doldak terminology for this. Is I'm calling it like the armor 2.0 kind of thing that they're going for here, where like the armor is kind of like they're diversifying into its own specific roles, right?
Yeah.
Like the Explorer armor. The Explorer armor like looks like a
Do you want to switch to
something.
them, Dave?
It looks like it has something that is for a
I've only got the
specific
Marine and the deck crew,
term.
but I'll switch the Marine.
You know, and
Oh,
like
no, there
like
should
the
be one
deck
for the-
armor. The deck
I
armor is the
might
same
have missed.
thing.
I
It's
might
like,
have missed it.
It's not made for full on defense. It's being like, hey, this is for a function, which is I like. This was what I like, and something that I was a little afraid that we weren't ever gonna get. But now I'm really excited to start seeing like, hey, we have a whole bunch of others. Like we should be getting like hundreds of spacesuits at some point.
We need hundreds of spacesuits. We need hundreds of weapons. We need hundreds of everything, basically.
It should be noted that Dave, I know you didn't watch. ATV this week. They did mention that they're pumping out costumes like crazy, especially for Squadron.
And that's what they have been, because like we're getting a lot more artists freed up at this point, and like we're seeing stuff where like
Also,
I remember drama like almost like a month or two ago where like they showed off like a really early thing of like, hey, here's this really early like concept / white box of like the deck crew EVA armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the next week it was like, oh yeah, that's done. And people are like, oh, because before this it was like they show off some armor, and then in like 6 years later, like, hey, we finished it. It's like, oh, that took a long time, but like now everything is so fast that it doesn't really matter.
They're rolling. Keep
I
rolling.
I love this GIF. It shows off the mesh. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the meshes. You can still see them clipping because that's never going to be fixed in a game ever, but it looks pretty good.
The clipping isn't that noticeable, and it looks pretty great.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could ever figure out a way to fix it, that's great, but I don't know.
You're never gonna be able to like track someone's fingers that fast unless you're going like frame by frame. I'm actually really in love with like the heavy armor. I love like the weird toilet bowl rim thing they got going on here.
I really
Around the
like
neck.
the servos on the elbows.
Yeah,
to help lift
the exosuit.
Yeah,
thing, yeah.
I like the little
That's
bit of
such
exosuit that's built into the suit. That's really cool.
It's kind of
That's
interesting because like I didn't think that they were ever going to go that far with it for the heavy armor, and I actually expected that's what the Titan armor was going to be more like. But if like that's not the Titan, I expected the Titan armor to be like a light exosuit with just a little bit like a single server and a little bit of structural support. I did not expect it to be like that's the heavy suit. So I'm actually like kind of interested to see what they're going to go with for like the Titan class.
I think the Titan's almost
What
gonna be
if
like
the
a mech.
Titan? I think they might do the Fallout 4 thing, and you just buy this skeleton of the armor, and then you put on the modules appropriate for the type, whatever kind of Titan suit you want, be it industrial, exploration, or combat. And I think that might. Be
Well,
quite
I mean,
interesting, if not
like that. That's
what they
what
do.
they're doing. That's what they're doing right now with the normal armor. Like, if you see all the item port stuff, like you can get normal armor, just kind of hot swap whatever you want with it.
So I've put the image of all the different hairstyles up for now, and like lots of them are pretty okay. They're not bad. Then there's a few that are just like, why?
There's the top middle one that's like the blonde guy is like what stubby. It's like it's like The Witcher. It's like Witcher 3 Geralt got like a little too close to some fire and it burned off half his hair. It's just kind of, so he's had like this little stub thing going on back there. It's like, oh, it's bad. I'm not into it.
I'm glad they're doing hair, but come on.
It'll get better.
Yeah.
It will. I better. Levski. There's
Yes.
a really
Oh.
quick GIF of Levski,
Yep.
of running through it.
Levski
There
looks
was-
really great. Levski,
Yes.
I think what they've been like some of the delays they've had are specifically almost kind of because like, hey, we really can't ship 3.0 without like this thing was supposed to have
Yeah.
like 5 landing zones in it,
Yeah.
and now like there's a potential that it doesn't have any, right?
Yeah.
So we
point.
kind of need the one level. We kind of need the one.
I'm honestly, if you read the schedule report, that's basically how it reads. I know they still have stretch goal beside Levski, but it also basically says that they move things around to make sure it can
Get out.
it can be in 3.0.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an option anymore. They've done way too much work to get it in there.
They've got so many systems coming online, and you need something to do in those
I could-
systems.
I could understand them having like a longer because we know the Evocati for 3.0 is probably going to be fairly sizable.
Yeah.
So like sizable chunk of time. Hell, it's actually like supposed to start like next week, which hey,
It was
spoiler,
supposed to start yesterday.
It's not going to. It's not going to.
No.
It's going to be delayed
No.
like another week, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to start next week. What's going to happen? What's going to happen here? Well, what might happen here is we might see like a longer Evocati that might not have Levski in it,
Yeah.
and then they'll be like, okay, we fix it. Throw that shit in there. Do a little bit of Evocati testing. PTU.
Let's talk Quantum.
Okay. Quantum?
They changed up Quantum.
Yes, and I would like to note, because it does look a little weird, a lot of things are missing. Note the work in progress thing in the bottom right.
Yeah.
This is more to show the visual side of things, that they've cleaned it up a little bit.
It's kind of hard to see on the stream, but I really like the warping in the center when you're spooling up. And then I like that they got rid of so much blue. Like there's so much blue in the 1.0, and the 2.0 looks more space.
It's because those accents in the blue are actually like in. It's not supposed to be like you're going through like a blue tunnel. It's supposed to be like, hey, you're just passing really fast, and there's blue in the universe, and so you kind of see the stripes of that passing by. And that's
I thought it was because as you approach the speed of light, you basically just start to see RGB, so you see blue in front of you and it turns red behind you.
but I don't think
That's what I
I don't think they're doing that. Like the quantum drive effects have always been
Quantum's like,
a kind of a rule of cool. Like let's just make it pretty.
not only that, but you're only going 20% of the speed of light. I'm not sure if blue shift would happen at that speed. What I meant,
something for scientists.
Fast Cart says Nakara, the work in progress watermark is only on the right side, though that means the left side is complete. No, what I mean is that the 2.0 one isn't ready for 3.0 yet. Because you can tell it's missing some UI elements. But
Does anyone else
yeah.
think they really need to get away from all these numbers? Because Item System 2.0 and Quantum 2.0 are going to be making their appearance in 3.0, and 3.0 is actually Star Citizen Alpha 3.0. Like, my God, can you guys like condense?
They need to start naming shit after like.
Scientists. This is the Asimov
should-
version of
Yes.
Quantum. And
No,
next,
God, no.
Stellaris already did it.
Oh, please, no,
Stellaris,
that's bad.
go full star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'd be a weird one. They start naming it after like Android version numbers.
Oh,
Like
What if they?
this is the Kit Kat item system. This is ice. This is gingerbread. This is the gingerbread
this
item
is
port.
quantum.
Ice cream
Go ahead,
sandwich.
Shiver.
What if
quantum
they
drive.
use the Greek alphabet? Because then they could have Quantum Drive Beta and the Star Citizen Alpha, pre-alpha, before it goes into beta, and that way you can go into the gamma test in the beta test, whilst you're beta testing or alpha testing other things within the beta.
Oh.
No, they should know what they should do. They should start naming them after cocktails.
Agreed.
Hey man, the Sazerac's coming online. Our Sazerac system just gets coming. We're working on it.
Yeah.
Continue along, Dave.
Yeah, sorry.
Most of Los Angeles is working on sex on the beach. It's been slow progress.
The Terrapin,
The
the Star Citizen Turtle.
You should cycle through these. There's 4
Yeah,
of them.
I'm going to. The Terrapin, I mean, it looks kind of cool, but it also, I mean, it's a turtle.
Okay.
It's
It is. It's supposed to be a turtle.
It's a turtle.
Like, how on earth are you supposed to disable the engines on that thing?
I
It's-
don't
it-
know.
Like, carefully is the answer.
The GIF that's showing now, like, you can see the armor come out and protect the cockpit, and it's like, this thing's...
No, it's serious turtle.
Yeah.
And I do like how it's almost gonna be like slightly less armored when it's in atmosphere mode,
Yeah.
because you can see those like little wings come up that like act as armor, and
yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Did anyone else look at that and go straight for that belly, shoot that in the belly?
Yeah, flip it over and take the belly out.
You know, I don't think so. I think actually you're better off taking off those side engines, right? 'Cause that's where I think a lot of their thrust is going to come from, are those side engine blocks.
I will say that Fastcart has a good point. This ship looks complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on it. Lots of angles, lots of weird like things that flip up and go all over. This is a complicated ship, and it's going pretty fast. Like,
You know what the Terrapin looks like?
a
Terrapin looks like it looks like you took like an onion and then like cut it a bunch, and the back of it looks like you did that to an onion.
like a bloomin' onion.
Like seriously, look at it. Like,
It is a tiny bit, yeah. All these little like slices all over the place.
Yeah, it's like you're still holding it together, but you've cut it a bunch. It's the onion slices, the back of it. That's what it's like.
So the
It's
last
it's like an ogre. It has layers.
Nice reference.
onions have layers. The last image that I have so far for today, the fauna.
Oh, I got some shit. CIG.
I saved it for last.
Fucking
Go
everyone,
nuts, go nuts, Papa.
everyone, you shut it down. Shut it all down. I caught him. I'm wearing a red shirt right now because I am the red shirt guy of Star Citizen right now. I caught them in their own lore game. I'm gonna throw. Where is it? Oh no, I lost it. Okay, I caught him. So yesterday, they released their weekly sneak peek. I'm gonna throw this in chat. Oh, Fastcart's way ahead of me.
Fastcart's got you beat.
So they released this image of this weird little like hovering like flying monster. Looks like some shit out of StarCraft 2. It looks like it looks like an overlord from
Looks
Kind
like
of.
the flood.
Also,
bit,
like
yeah.
the flood. Yeah, they've
So-
taken some inspiration.
Yeah.
got a little gremlin thing going on here, and it's cool. I like the look of it, and it's creepy, and like I think we need some more creepy shit going on. in Star Citizen.
good fauna, and this is good fauna. Like, and it's not normal fauna. Like, look at its little leg things. They've got like
There's little
four-
danglers.
Well,
little dangler going on.
but the actual leg things, they've got like 4 different like joint points.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like there's more joint points than you normally see on things. Like they got shit going on. I like
It's
it.
cool. It's spooky. It's non-humanoid. I like it. So the story here is this thing. So they show off this image yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Clearly as a piece of concept art of something that they're planning to eventually put in the game, or like we're gonna see stuff like this in the game, right?
Yeah.
That's what you take away from it. However, on yesterday's Jump Point, right? They show an image of the whole lore section in Jump Point is about Garen 2, which is a planet. I'm going to run this down, where essentially a couple hundred years ago in the Star Citizen universe, the current Imperator,
Imperator.
Imperator, whatever, man, the crazy Space King, right? Was like pretty much Space King Jong-un, and it was just kind of like completely fucking insane. And humanity had discovered this Garen 2 system, the Garen system with the Garen 2 in it. And on the Garen 2, there was a sentient race of beings, which I don't think are these specifically, but these are on Garen 2. So, and it was very interesting because Garen 2 was the first. It was not the first alien race we had encountered, but it was the first alien race we encountered that was not that was sentient and not spacefaring themselves, right? They were like technologically inferior to humans, right? So,
Concierge.
So the Imperator at the time was like, "Hey, we're gonna like shut your goddamn mouth, you Canadian bastard! All right, you silence.
I think you're supposed to call me a communist first.
You're a commie piece of shit. It's what you are. I know you."
Okay,
you know that.
back to
All
what
right.
you were talking about.
Okay, going back. So, Space King, a little crazy, but he's kind of power tripping at this point, and he's like, okay, we're gonna raise up this race, and we're gonna like give them technology, and we're gonna like incorporate them into our government, and like we're gonna like be friends to them, and like raise them up, and give them technology, and give them education, and like forward their species, right? And he tells the whole world this, the whole human race this. Then a little while later, like we had been studying them, and while studying their planet, we discovered that there's a fuckload of like super rare minerals on their planet, just right for the taking. And Imperator's like, fuck all that like raise them up shit. We're just gonna like terraform their fucking planet and sell off the mineral rights. Hell yeah! So that happens. Essentially genociding their entire species and every other piece of life on that fucking planet, right? Which is super fucked up.
I have to
Right?
say, like
The UE is
Vanduul-
really good at genocide. There's like been like 4 or 5 genocides in the UE in
Yeah,
like the human
the
history.
Vandal have some
It
points.
starts as a-
You know,
So the human race
Yeah,
has
no,
never gone
maybe.
to an island in the past and wiped out the native people and put their own people instead there. America!
And like after all these
said that?
horrific
what?
after all these horrific genocides, we still have like an emperor, by the way. Like what the fuck's going like stop it. Like at some point, like, oh, let's just get another one. This one will be fine. I promise. Then it happens
Let's
again
just
and
get
you get
another
one.
president. This one
Can
will be
I
fine.
can I also
So-
point out
So,
can
so
I also
anyway,
point out just because you have an emperor doesn't mean genocide. Japan hasn't committed genocide for at least 60 years.
please. So getting back on track here. So essentially, they genocide this entire planet, wiping all the species, right? And so in the I'm gonna link David. I'm gonna link this if you could put this up on stream.
Put it up. Oh god. Can you send it to me in Discord? Because if I open the Skype chat, it breaks
Yeah.
everything.
And staff.
Yep.
So essentially, in the newest episode of Jump Point, they use this image, which is you'll see in a minute, up on stream of Garen 2 being terraformed, right? And it's this horrible thing where every piece of life on this planet is being exterminated by these terraforms because essentially their atmosphere is being stripped and replaced, right? Which is fucked up. And you can see clearly when you see in a second that I'm just gonna throw the image here in chat as well. You can see that the those little gremlin boys was what I'm calling them. The gremlin boys are clearly on Garen 2. That's where they're local to, and they're laying there and they're dead, right? Because they're all killed off. So, in the blurb about Garen 2, and I quote, this rocky planet was home to an amazingly diverse biosphere with an equally varied array of life forms until the Messers essentially eliminated all of the indigenous life by replacing the atmosphere. Since then, terraforming companies and scientists have worked to restore the planet to its former self, and although they have not been able to recreate any of the creatures, they have made great strides in repopulating much of the botanical life. Botanical meaning plant life. So essentially, they were able to recreate all the plant life on Garen 2, but they were completely unable to recreate the creatures on Garen 2. And it says specifically, the blurb specifically says that they have been unable to recreate any of the creatures, right?
Dovak,
So
maybe
what the fuck
maybe
is the
maybe
deal?
these count as plants. Maybe these are sentient plants.
Well, these aren't the sentient things. These aren't the sentient ones.
No, they weren't the sentient race.
We don't know anything about the race that we wiped out.
Or
But
they might be. We just don't
Well,
know.
unknown, but I'm pretty sure that it was just implied that these are just like life. There was just a life form on the planet. It was just animal. But yeah, they've been completely unable to replicate the creature. So what the fuck's the idea? Are you just throwing out a concept? What I think happened is like this was happening for Jump Point, and this image was there, and this image on Friday just got put out by like someone's like, oh shit, we have to do this with the weekly sneak peek. What do we put out? And no one consulted the writers and just put this out, and it's not something that we're ever going to like seeing in game, maybe.
Or
Well, what if-
they went to the frickin' Eric. Come on, they went to the trouble of modeling it. What I suspect will happen is you'll go down to the planet and you'll, with the assumption that there are none of these, and then you'll come into a cave and like 300 of them will attack you, and you'll be like, "These are supposed to be gone," and you'll lose your mind. And
Just because they can't recreate them, it doesn't say that any of the
that's fair.
species were unique to that planet.
Well,
That's
actually, in Garen, there's no other planets with life on them.
It could be
Very
like
curious.
Nakara says that maybe there's a mad scientist and we're gonna go down and we're gonna like be like, hey, and he's gonna be like, I need these things for my experiments, and you're
Look,
like, okay, I'll get you the things, and you get him
Collect
the
20
things,
of
and then
these
his
and bring them
experiments
back.
break out.
He's like, look, man, I'll give you like a whole bunch of UAC, but I just need you to put this in your butt, and then like 30 minutes later, it just bursts out of your crotch, and that's it.
very
It's
possibly.
always
I mean,
crotch.
well, you watched the modeling for CIG on stream recently.
it's-
Everything comes out of the crotch.
Like it's like catnip, right? Like human crotch region in is like catnip to all kinds of alien races, right? They just love it.
So
We're into it. So good.
we're gonna move
Oh,
on to
man.
questions.
Actually, I wanted
Oh.
to mention a few things first.
Sure.
First of all, everyone and their dog and cats and turtles should watch this week's ATV.
Yep.
Serialized variable is hugely important, and they actually did a really good job of explaining what it is and why it's good.
In the past like month, we've gotten like 2 really good technical ATVs
Yeah.
that are
this is
like
definitely one of them.
or I'd actually recommend watching instead of reading, because if you try to like read it, your brain just like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
Yeah.
It's just way
No.
too much technical jargon.
This
But
is-
if
it's
you actually
really
need
good.
someone to explain it to you, it's.
Also, I wanted to mention on the schedule this week, they completed a lot of stuff. Derelict ships, repair, Moby Glass overhaul, the volumetric fog, Drake Cutlass Black, the RSI Ursa rover, the Scourge railgun, the Arrowhead sniper rifle rework, the Devastator shotgun rework, and the Diffusion subset for 3.0, which is networking, are all finished this week. Also
good
they
week.
added in, because they finished the derelict ships, they also added in another one called inhabited derelict ships. Now these are a little interesting. They won't initially actually be inhabited. What they wanted to do is create derelict ships that have been lived in. So, the ship crashed and it broke up and whatever, and then somebody came along and built like we saw in the Homestead demo. People like built stuff inside of it, and then they are not currently there. That's basically what they're talking about with this, with the possibility of actually having AI inhabit them in the future. That's basically where they're at. But it's cool to see it added in. There's been a couple things recently they've added to 3.0. And that's about it. Next week, a lot more stuff wraps up because remember the original finish date for 3.0 was the end of June, and we're only 2 weeks away. A lot of things are coming to their
A lot
end.
of things are finishing up. It's getting close. Yeah. It's getting close.
Yeah, we're gonna be in testing soon.
Yeah,
which should be, and then the leaks will happen. And it'll be leaky, and yeah.
Fine with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
So we're
the
gonna
thing
move
is,
on.
like, I'm actually really excited for the Evocati section just because we're gonna see like a whole bunch of gameplay. Like there's no reason we're gonna like CIG actively leaks gameplay of their Evocati. I'm really okay. People watching this, I'm really a little secret. If you go to the bug tracker, right? And you filter by Evocati by like the current Evocati version. When the Evocati build is out in the wild, you can see like unlisted YouTube videos that people have uploaded that are like exposed by CIG themselves because they're on the dev tracker. If you like dig like through multi-layers, it's an exploit you can use to just find unlisted videos that people are using to report bugs. And like the people who upload the videos aren't breaking the rules because they've unlisted it. It's CIG who are leaking the link to it because you can go find it through their fucking website. It's awful.
Now that you've said this, it's no longer gonna be possible.
Yeah.
If you go look at it, like if you want to see like last thing, I'm like, I need some Buccaneer footage or something. Just go steal it from the bug tracker. Fuck it. And just found some guy like doing a fly around of the Buccaneer and the Evocati build. It's like, okay, let's use this.
So there's a workaround for anyone that wants to see stuff early. Moving on, we're going to hit some questions.
It's almost like the RSI website needs a complete overhaul or something. Maybe.
It might. If you have
maybe
questions,
flip it.
ask them in the thing, and we'll attempt to answer them. We're going to start with Brivols asking, extrapolating what Clive said about serialized variables and networking, how large of an infrastructure do you think CIG will have for Star Citizen?
The answer is
very
infinite
different.
and also none. That's the thing. So they're using Amazon AWS, and the whole point of using like a cloud infrastructure like that is that they don't have to have an infrastructure. The whole point is that if demand scales upwards, so there's their infrastructure seamlessly. So if like, hey, there's only 10 people playing Star Citizen, then there's the servers, which hopefully doesn't happen. But at some point that will happen in the far-flung future when Star Citizen 6 is out.
Actually, no, it's going to happen right at the beginning. At some point, only 10 people will have installed.
You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, David.
I still think there's going to be more than that straight away.
So
I think it's going to. There's got to be a point when only 10 people have logged in. It may only
there'll
last
be several
a millisecond.
milliseconds. Yeah, but you're not wrong, David. But essentially, what will happen is like, and it's not going to be in increments of 10, obviously. But it's like, hey, this amount of processing power and like just server infrastructure and backend can support 1,000 people, right? And let's say that's our base unit, right? And then let's say, oh shit, like 20,000 people just joined the game, right? It's dynamically going to like scale itself up, and so they don't have to think about that. Like it's all the back end somewhere, and it's not even a problem. That's how most things work these days. Like, right? You just get billed at the end of the month for how much you use, not like buying a single server, like a single piece of server hardware anymore is like kind of uncommon. You just use like a weird fucking use AWS or like Google Compute or something like that, and it just scales up automatically. And like typically, if you've done your fucking like business, if your biz dev people have done their fucking jobs correctly, then like if you scale up in the users, you will also scale up in how much money you're making, so you can pay that bill.
There you go.
Yes.
That's the question. Okay. Brivels asks another one. What do you guys think of classified reveal of the new Xi'an ship and speeder bike? Do you think it's right?
I don't know what the fuck it looks like, man. Is it like a box thing? It looks like it has a fucking front door on it, which is weird.
You sound very disturbed.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I know it's like my brain being able to like not comprehend what it is, but it really reminds me of the Star Wars Episode 7 land speeder thing, where she's on like the initial planet and she has like that weird like double stack kind of thin thing. She's just kind of on top of it. It kind of reminds me of like that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did
I
anyone
think
play
what
X-Men Apocalypse? XCOM Apocalypse.
no.
No.
There's a motorbike in there, which is just this anti-gravity bike, and it reminded me of that.
I think what you see there is just a really close up, like super close up of the front end, but it definitely looks like a
The
bike.
scale is like hard to
Yeah.
figure out.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for them to add another cheapish bike type thing for ground vehicles, and I hope that they put it in game pretty quickly because we're going to need things to fly around on planets in 3.0.
Yeah, and like I don't think we're where I was going to get that quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you look at those weird like the things that they were working on like a couple months ago or so, I think it was like a solid month ago when we saw the Nox, what is assumed to be the Nox on like the background in like an ATV somewhere. They're working on a 3D model of it, so it like how the Dragonfly was like they pooped that thing out and then
Yeah.
suddenly it was just like also we have a flyable white box. I think it's gonna be so much of that where it's like, hey, it's concept sale. Also, it's like give us a couple weeks, so we'll work it out.
Yeah.
But like to be fair,
I'm not going to knock it
I'm-
until I try it.
I'm thinking that the Nox is also going to be how they kind of like read either A, there is like a Jean ship in Squadron 42 that they have like used as like the base Jean ship and are translating that forward, because I think that there's so many weird issues and problems and like material issues with the Jean Scout, right, the Cartual, that then that's not going to be like the base, like how like everything has like a base ship that they use, and then they use that to like pour everything forward.
I don't think that's I don't think it's the Scout.
I think either A, it's going to be they're going to be their Jean base, or there's something we don't know about that's going to be the base and they're pouring that forward.
It's kind of how like the Freelancer came out well before the Starfarer, but the Starfarer is the base for MISC ships.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it was more at the point where they're like, yes, this is what we want to do. They're
And also the
I'm
control thing
fairly
is weird.
certain-
The control is like it's like jank, and it's like bleh, it's and
Wow.
they have to do like a whole bunch of like they made a whole bunch of concessions for that thing. Right? You got Cat there, David.
Yeah,
It's a communist cat. It's a communist cat.
Yeah,
It's a comrade.
he's cool. He's got 6
Comrade
fingers on each
Fluffers.
foot.
Joseph Catlin.
Okay, so next question can answer the next two pretty easily, I believe. Future 8-faced Mohawk asks, when 3.0 drops will get customization. Do you believe we'll see the full version of customization? No. And Brivals asks, do you know any details of the next great Star Marine? No.
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 I do. I absolutely do. Probably not going to happen. That's my. It's just like that's like. Do you know
That
details?
was a last year thing.
I am betting you money it's not going to happen. I am betting you so hard.
yeah, well,
I'm
one of
it's
us
not gonna
actually has to take that bet, and I agree with you, so I'm not taking
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee you we are never going to see another competition in the same vein as Next Great Starship. Simply because, fuck, that didn't work out for him. Holy shit, they thought they were going to get like a whole bunch of like free work and publicity from him. The publicity thing, maybe, sure, I don't really know. But like, also, I don't think anyone even fucking watches videos. Secondly, that ship is a fucking nightmare. Oh my god, the Redeemer is like a disaster.
Worst ship in the verse.
Well,
Brilliant if you want to straighten your hair, though.
that's the Vanguard.
No, the
But yeah,
Vanguard.
like-
Vanguard,
the
isn't even
Vanguard
on,
is not the worst.
Vanguard isn't even
yes,
on the
it
top
is.
5. It's not even on the top 5.
What
Let's
the,
move
what
on.
the fuck?
Let's move
Vanguard's
on.
not top 5 for you?
No.
Get the fuck out of here. Nonsense.
I love the
Nonsense.
Vanguard.
Oh no.
I've made my list of top 5s very clear. So moving on, Fastguard asks, if they're spending this time on hair and polish, can you imagine how close Squadron 42 is to completion?
Okay, let's have this conversation.
Okay.
We should.
You know what?
We should
Fine.
have this conversation.
Let's have it. Dovak,
Okay.
you think you're gonna be here? I'm gonna play everyone's parts for them. Dovak is gonna be incredibly pessimistic and say not till late next year or possibly 2019. Nakar is gonna say it's probably too early to tell. We can't really know, but probably sometime early to mid 2018. Shiver's gonna say, I don't know, he's just gonna smoke, and I'm gonna say later this year. So where are we?
Okay, you over pessimistified myself.
Okay.
Right.
Wow, that was an impressive.
Dolmak. That's
That
wow.
that was an impressive word. Dolmak.
Yeah, I know.
Over pessimistified.
Pessimistified. I like that.
That's a good one.
It's the past tense of the verb.
Yes. I can imagine it.
Yeah.
All right.
I
go,
wish I had a
Dolmak.
sound effect.
So
Mystified
so-
someone with their pessimism.
there was a whole people yelling about this on the internet the other day because they announced the CitizenCon tickets.
Yeah.
Like what the date of
27th.
CitizenCon. Which
Yeah.
is we were talking
Yeah.
about this, which is like they moved it later in the month.
Yeah.
Um.
Could be that they moved it because they have something to announce that won't be ready for the 10th.
Eric was saying earlier, it could simply be because it's a little too close to Gamescom.
It could also be that. Yeah, I said that
so-
earlier with Shiver on the Relay
Here's the
Replay,
thing.
which is coming
Here's
out
the
tomorrow. So tune into the Relay Replay with myself and Shiver. For
Do you
all your
remember-
quick news?
Do you remember like a fucking year ago when we were talking about Squadron 42?
Yes.
Yes.
And it was like the run up to CitizenCon and Gamescom last year.
Yep.
And we were like, oh yeah, it's probably going to come out in either like late this year being like 2016 at the time, or like early 2017, right? And we're like spring 2017, and we're all kind of like, if it doesn't come out in 2017, I think it's going to go very poorly for them, right? I think it's going to go very poorly for them. And that's not me being vindictive. That's just me, like, that's my analysis of the community. I simply think that they are not in the spot to, for whatever reason that I am not privy to get Squadron 42 out the door this year. And I think if they were, we would have been in that hype cycle by now, unless they're doing some weird shit, which I hope to God they're not, because they fucking owe it to us to not pull that again.
Thing is, my problem here is last year, one of the biggest problems with last year and one of the biggest complaints out of most people was that they didn't fucking tell us.
And to be fair, they still haven't fucking told us. Like Chris Roberts, the man, the myth, the legend, in like January of this year said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get a 3.0 schedule out, and then we're gonna have a Squadron, and we're also gonna have a Squadron 42 schedule out." That was 6 months ago.
I
Yeah.
feel there's part of me that really wishes and really believes that if it wasn't coming out this year and they knew it already, they might tell us and tell us why. And there is this hopeful part of me that's like, no, if it wasn't coming out this year, they would tell us because we need to know.
I absolutely don't think they've learned their lesson. I don't think they've learned their lesson. I think that's really shitty. I do not think Squadron 42 is coming out in 2017. I would love to be proven wrong, but I just don't think they got it in them right now.
We're still
I think-
2017, right? God.
I'm going to stick with Christmas.
So
I reckon it'll be a Christmas release if it's this year.
my thing is, can I cite the secret interview between Relay and EKD?
No, because we haven't redone it yet.
Okay.
Which we need to
Okay.
pester Jake to redo it.
I will just say that in my personal opinion, yes, they'll get it out this year. Now, it's hard to say though. See, the only thing is, I think that they'll have the game done this year. I think that they might push it just because of testing, because it's a final game, not a alpha product. But I think the game will be done, quote unquote. Now, the only problem is, I'm going to go back to exactly what David said. I would say we just don't know. We haven't gotten enough information to even know. It's really hard because
I really think they should have opened up this year with a with a like, hey guys, if it comes out this year, it's coming out at the end of the year. I think they should have opened up with that and didn't. And
it's been like 18 months since we've actually seen anything serious about Squadron's state. We've seen bits and pieces along the way, lots of them, little tiny
bits and pieces.
Breadcrumbs?
Bits and pieces is generous, Eric.
Oh yeah, breadcrumbs.
I would use the word scraps. Yeah,
There you go.
We are like pigeons feeding off the Squadron 42 trash pile on the streets of New York.
Okay, I'll go over some of the things we know. We know that the ships were done last year. They're all done, so the ships aren't a problem.
They've been showing us, they've been showing us the driller and like it shows the driller and the Kingship in like showing up at fucking Port All-Star the other day. Like
the other knock-on effects you can see too are that everyone's been saying, oh, ships are getting done so fast now. That's because the Squadron 42 ships team rolled off of Squadron 42 ships onto PU ships. They're working on those now. Now, so the ships aren't a problem. Characters they're coming along really fast with. You saw the two this week that were both Squadron 42 characters, but they're not done them. They've had a few extra shoots in for performance capture to, I assume, fill in the blanks. Sounds like the cinematics aren't done, but they're working on them in Frankfurt. But the rest of the stuff, like missions, we really just don't know.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, we know that they were gray box, but
I'm gonna pose all of you a question. All right,
What's that?
All of you a question. Do you think two questions? First, do you think we see Squadron 42 at Gamescom,
Yes.
or hear anything about it?
Yes.
No.
or hear anything
I
about
think-
it. I think they'll say.
Wait, do you think that like we get that presentation there, or do we get it at CitizenCon?
I think
think-
Squadron is a CitizenCon thing.
I think they'll show a trailer at Gamescom, and they'll actually show off part of the game at CitizenCon. I think they both
Or
will be.
release date at
partially.
CitizenCon. Or
Um,
release it at CitizenCon.
Here's the follow up to that.
So
how-
yes, it's an answer.
How fucked will they be if they don't do either?
For their this is where it gets interesting. For their existing fans, a lot of people will be angry. I think that for the actual commercial success of Squadron 42, I know this sounds callous and bad, but I don't think that the Star Citizen community matters that much. For the simple reason that a lot of the people who will end up buying Squadron who haven't bought it already don't even know about it. So they won't be all up in arms over the fact that it was delayed. They'll just be like, "Hey, this is a cool game."
And you're saying that from like a purely logical fiscal standpoint of view.
Oh,
not
absolutely.
Not from like an ethical or moral right.
No,
kind of thing.
I think that they will be in hot water with their fans again if they don't show anything from Squadron. Now,
They're not gonna be hot water with their fans. They're gonna be in boiling water with their fans. Like
Yes.
last year was hot water with their fans.
Well, hang on. If that was the case, if we're in the same situation we're in today, and that happens, then yeah, that's not going to go down well. But 3.0 should at least be out by then. Surely that will take the edge off it because there's a game to play at that point. I mean, not much of a game, but there is far more than we have now.
I absolutely do not think that anything that they give us, like as far as like the PU, will quell that fucking fire at all.
well, keep in mind, Shiver, he's saying that they don't say anything at all about Squadron at either event.
I mean like a full on repeat of last year. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, we're still working on it, and
Yeah,
that's
but-
it.
So
I
I would
or
like
maybe-
to
maybe-
use
or
all
they
these
said
as a
nothing,
bit-
nothing, and then it just came out at Christmas.
You know what would be like the worst fucking thing they could possibly do is like roll.
Close up, take the money, and go.
No. They end CitizenCon 2017 with the old man teaser again. And then it just says 2018 on it, and it's just
No.
like, no, that's not gonna fly.
They
I'm gonna
changed the name.
I'm gonna
The
dive-
older man.
I'm going to dive into some of the things that we've heard. So, Brian Chambers has said over and over and over and over again in the past few months that they really, really are excited and ready to show off cinematics from Squadron. I think that's what you're going to see at Gamescom. And I think at CitizenCon you're going to get a release date, probably with some gameplay preview. I agree with Shiver. I think if it's coming this year, it's going to be like December 31st at midnight.
Does anyone else think that they might just be like, here, it's done?
No, because they said they're going
No.
to do full marketing on it.
They said that they were going to do full marketing 2 years ago.
I still think they intend.
I
on it.
remember
If they wanna
I
sell
remember
lots of
having a
copies.
chat with someone at UK CitizenCon about how they were getting ready to start up their marketing push for Squadron. So
They probably have those plans done. They're just waiting to hit the go button.
Dolbach has disappeared, which is unfortunate.
I
'cause
don't.
The next question involves him. So I'm just
Where
going to
did
move
you
on.
go?
I'm going to move on to the next one, and I'll ask him when he gets back. Brivos asks, do you think that some of the animations for the Terrapin could be the heat venting mechanic the ship is supposed to have? Yes.
That was exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought.
Fastcart
Definitely
asks, when will you have a show with everyone on the cast wearing a relay shirt? Probably when I get Shivers to him.
Is it black?
No.
No, it's
You're
this.
wearing a
shirt.
white shirt right now, Shiver.
It's got Batman on it.
This has got me.
Think of
on
what's talking to Batman.
Preachman asks, does anyone else think that crash sites should be much larger? Wouldn't there be debris spread over a much larger area if the ship hits the ground at re-entry speeds?
Really depends. If the ship is under some control on the way in, it'll crash pretty slow.
Yeah.
Age of the wreckage as well. A lot of it can get completely, small parts will be strewn across miles. It would have loads of sand or whatever pile on top of it as well.
I do
Age.
hope that if you have like a capital ship just like smash into a planet, that it's covered like half the planet.
Also,
And
quite frankly, fun.
That'd be an interesting thing if it's like, hey, we know on this sector of a planet, we know a ship went down there, right? And then so you open your scanners and you set them to look for like debris and shit, and it's like, hey, yo, there's like a fucking Aegis wing over there. It's sticking out all that sand dune. So we know where, and then you have to like that could be part of exploring. Is like you actually have to like do a grid search because you know
That would be
in this
really
region.
cool, and that's what I think that they're going for, definitely.
So for Papa, Inquiring Minds asks, why are you obsessed with crotch spiders?
Look, that's my own business, and I think you
Isn't
need to
everyone?
Look, crotch spiders, crotch dogs, crotch balloon boys. Look, just it's all the same thing.
Crotch dogs. How much peanut butter is there in
Which-
your house?
I just that was
That was rough.
okay. We're gonna move on, pretend that didn't happen. But what do we call what are we calling the fauna? That little gremlin thing? Because I'm referring to it as balloon boys, and I think that's the proper way to go about it.
Okay, sounds good. Balloon boys.
So
Done.
Fastcart asks, who's excited to finally have a date for CitizenCon? Is anyone worried that it's so late in October and a week after TwitchCon? I'm not excited to have a date. I don't want it to be in Frankfurt. I think that it's way too late, and there we go.
None of us are going.
I think it's
so.
great. I'm going to Frankfurt. I can
Oh,
just take a train.
he's going.
Honestly,
A lot of people
being
are-
moved to that date makes it really difficult for me to go, so I probably won't be able to.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people had planned
Yeah.
it to be in October 10th and had planned, vacation
Yeah.
time, and I honestly don't understand the move. And unless they explain the move, that to me is no. It's now
Wow.
3 weeks. It's 3 weeks, like 2 to 3 weeks from the date that from the anniversary date.
I suspect the reason is one of two things: either logistics, they simply could not get a venue for the right day, or they were worried about how close it was to Gamescom, given that it's in the same place.
Don't put it in the same place. It shouldn't be in
agree.
Frankfurt to begin with.
I still would like to know why they're both there.
It's weird. It's because they have this weird like sense of like, hey, we have to make it fair, and like we have
know
to
what
put
would
it
be fair?
in LA,
Come up,
and then we have
to the friggin' East Coast of America. Come up to Canada. Go to Australia. Go somewhere else. Like the UK is
Don't
right
go to-
beside Frankfurt.
don't go to Australia.
Well,
Don't go to
no,
Australia.
okay, no one should go to Australia. Let's be
Australia
clear.
is basically hell on
Yeah.
earth, so don't go there.
I mean, do
Citizen
take
Con,
into
North
account,
Korea.
right, if
2018, make it happen.
they've got
Toronto.
to have devs travel to this event.
You
And
think the UAE,
no matter which way you
you
spin
think
it,
the
that's coming out.
UAE is like a fucking hellhole dictatorship? You ain't seen nothing. It's gonna be great. We're gonna like execute the guests. It's gonna be a good time.
So now here's my interesting query. Like, why Frankfurt? I mean, assuming that it's assuming
It's going on their standard thing of we want to show off the developers everywhere, and they're the only development team that hasn't had a Citizen Con yet.
It's going to be rotating. It's gonna be. It's just gonna be a rotating. It's gonna be. It's
and
gonna be.
that would be-
What's it called next?
That would be fine if they went to anything other than Gamescom. But for the past like 3 years, the only event outside of CitizenCon that they've gone to in an official capacity has been Gamescom. Why the hell are they doing it in Frankfurt when they're already there 2 weeks before? It's stupid. Sure.
not 2 weeks.
I'm a little
because-
secret. Little secret.
just
Germany's
shiver-
hard to
shiver-
get
in case
to.
it-
Shiver.
In case anybody doesn't
Shiver.
know, it's 2 months.
Shiver.
They have Citizen Con in America. Piece of cake, everyone can get on a fairly cheap domestic flight or even a train, and you can have like 2-3 studios worth of devs crammed under one roof. Do it over here in Europe, and people want to meet the EU side of things. There are a lot of EU citizens who don't want to do the trip to America either.
Well,
And
the
by
thing
having it
is
in
that
Frankfurt,
everyone that
you
lives
can
in the
get
UK isn't really a
and
real
EU
person.
there.
Shiver. One, the UK is what, like maybe an hour and a half from Frankfurt? They had the UK two years ago. And did you know that it's actually less time for me to fly to the UK than it was for me to fly to LA?
That actually makes sense.
The LA is so
The LA.
fucking
The
LA.
LA.
The LA is so
The
far
LA.
away. So you
Yeah,
know what?
Los
No,
Angeles.
I
I
want
can't
them
say
to have
that.
something in New York. Put it in bloody New York.
They won't put it there because they don't have a studio there.
Montreal.
I know. You know what'd be great?
They don't have a well. They
I
have
know,
Turbulent,
but
that's
they've
it.
never-
never.
be
But they
fucking
don't even go
fantastic.
to
It
conventions.
would be
there.
fantastic. CitizenCon Boston.
Yeah, that would be great.
I would love that. That'd be
That would be
great.
amazing.
Now here's the thing. I
Airplane,
think that
air-
I think that what they should have done is, I'm fine with them putting CitizenCon in Frankfurt, but they should have gone to a different event than Gamescom.
Yes.
Go to
Yeah,
one of the
agreed.
PAXs. Go
Agreed.
to something in North America first.
The only problem is that the only outside event that they do is Gamescom, and Gamescom is right beside CitizenCon, and that
And
is the problem.
it basically is a mini CitizenCon.
Well,
Like,
and it
yeah.
is, and it means that the only event that the only two CIG events this year are both in Germany, and that, quite frankly, isn't fair to anyone in North America.
What it means is that for us is that our coverage of both events our coverage of Gamescom will be fairly similar. Although I think maybe we'll get somebody there, but our coverage of CitizenCon will be a shadow of what it was last year.
We'll
'Cause
have
we can
Shiver
go.
there.
I'll still be dying in a mat in the
Shit.
corner though. That'll still be happening.
Shiver, you'll have to cover everything. You need to have like you need one of those Explorer flight suits with the camera on the shoulder.
I don't know, I
you
honestly,
see a guy just walking around with all this equipment and moving studio.
Yeah.
It's me.
I'm still really not pleased about it because I honestly can't afford to fly to Frankfurt I can't afford to go there for Gamescom, and I also can't afford to go there for CitizenCon. And the fact that they're both in the same place, I can't afford to go to either of them. It sucks. It really
Look,
sucks.
I think I might try and get to VerseCon.
Frankfurt, Lee, I love it.
CitizenCon 2016 was incredible for meeting people that you've talked to online.
Yeah.
Because pretty much fucking everyone was there. Like everyone I have ever talked to in the Star Wars community showed up, and we were all hanging out
Except
and
for
we were all
Shiver.
doing stuff. Except for Shiver, not that guy. But no, like so many people were there, right? Almost everyone I've talked to was like, "Yeah, fuck that. I'm not going. I'm not going to that one." Like no one's
Yeah.
going to it. It's just, I don't know.
It's too far.
Well, like a lot of people can't. Now, actually, I don't. I also recall that there aren't that many tickets.
650
Yeah, that's not many.
Is that more or less than last year?
less.
I think that's a lot less.
Last year
But-
there were like 900, weren't there?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
Anyway, the
What's
next
the next
question
question?
is the next question, also by Fastcart, is follow up. Is anyone going to VerseCon in Austin instead?
Jacob.
Unfortunately, no, because same problem. Austin is literally on the other side of a fucking continent. I'm not flying 8 hours to get.
I
Quebec.
might go to VerseCon because it's directly south from me. And I
Jake-
know
Jake
Jake
is
is going as well.
Jake
Jake's
will
going to be there.
yeah.
I might.
Um,
I'm still thinking about it. We'll see.
So we will have people there regardless. How many is a question mark.
Do
But,
you guys know how much, like, tickets are for airplanes? It's like like
That's a very
$1,000.
general thing. They range from like 80, 20 pounds, even in some cases, upwards.
But see, no,
Infinitely.
Shiver, that's the problem. Nowhere here in North America there is not a 20-pound airplane.
No.
Oh yeah, you're not going to get across the any ocean.
I
for
won't.
20
I won't
quid.
even get. I won't even get to Toronto for 20 pounds. It's still like $150 to go on an hour-long plane
Yeah,
flight.
dude.
It's just more
actually,
expensive
this
here.
week. So look. I want to explain this to you, Shiver. So in this upcoming Friday, right? Next Friday, I'm flying to Pennsylvania from Tennessee for just a family wedding thing going on up there, and so I'm flying to Atlanta first, which is south of me, right? Even though I have to fly north, I'm flying south to the bigger airport to get on a cheaper flight because I'm just flying super cheap. So I'm flying from my city 2 hours to Atlanta, the opposite direction than flying upwards, right? Atlanta is only like 100 miles away from me, right? It's like a solid 2-hour drive, right? That plane ticket is $200. So that's $1 per. That's $2 per mile, Shiver.
Heathrow, cheapest airport that you can fly out of tax-wise, country-wise. Say I want to go to Amsterdam, it's not even an hour's flight. That is £120, which would be around about $130, $140 for not even an hour on an airplane.
200.
No
over
bun,
here.
no toffee, no
That's
coffee.
200 Canadian.
You just get picked
Anyway,
up,
Yeah.
Let's
thrown in your chair, thrown off.
yeah. Let's skip the flight costs. It's way too much, and they should actually have stuff more spread out so that more people can go to them. Evo asks, large ships from Reclaimer up to Idris size. When will we get them? The Reclaimer is coming along really well. Like, really well.
When will we get them? Well, they're in the schedule. I mean, the Idris I don't think is, but most of the other ones are. The Reclaimer's coming along very fast. So is the Hull C. I think they're like 3.1-ish.
Well, the whole sea got like incredibly, like way bigger. Like if you look at that thing, like the whole
Of course
sea,
it did.
the
They're
whole
making it in
sea
the
is
UK.
now the whole D. The whole sea is the whole D now.
Keep in mind the original Hull E, which is going to make it really interesting because the original Hull E was actually bigger than the Idris. It's going to be stupidly enormous.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know what the whole E is going to be like. It's going to be upsetting.
E for enormous.
Fastcart has another great question. The next time Relay has a meetup, can we have a fist bump explosion like the Roberts brothers? Wonder when
Yes.
powers activate. I was actually wondering if I could find a way to have it happen today with Nakara. Go like, but then I got lazy. Other way, other side, other side, other side,
Yeah.
other side. Yeah.
Oh,
The look
okay.
of disgust on Dolvak's face.
Yeah, well, he always looks at us like that.
Yeah. So Fidelity asks, is Papa Dolvak thankful for his fidelity, or do we have to take his fidelity away?
I've long lost my fidelity, dude. You don't even have to worry about it.
Low fidelity to
My face is just a single polygon that I've just drawn a face on with like Sharpie.
You are also so zoomed in, it's ridiculous. That's probably on my end, but whatever. Christians in Space the Musical asks, have atmospheric effects like meteors falling from space and creating craters on the planet's moons been discussed? Also, weather / planet side effects such as fucking balls high, tsunamis, and frozen clouds, or any other effects from the Interstellar movie would be insane.
Yeah, actually, so you're talking about like meteor
It
impacts and
continues.
like
Hang on, it continues. I can't. I'm trying to. There it is. If anyone ever acted like a dick weasel to me, I'd love to be able to leave them on a frozen cloud and wait for the planet to rotate into the sun so the cloud would begin to melt. If that was ever put into the level that is, that shit gets me. Anyway,
so essentially the answer to your question is kind of right. So you're talking about meteor impacts. The thing with like meteor impacts in like real life is that those events are so incredibly rare that like it's worthless to actually program that stuff in because you never realistically actually see it, right? Like imagine, and you know how imagine like getting struck by lightning, right? Now imagine that was 100,000 times more like rare, right? That is the event of seeing an actual meteor impact in front of you. All the impacts on the moon, right, have happened over millions of years, right? Literally, the moon will go 1,000 years without a single impact, and there'll be 20 in 1 year. It's completely. It's. There's no reason for them to simulate that. It would just be a waste. Now they could have some cool event or something, some cool collision that'd be cool, but like as far as like an actual system built around it, it would be kind of worthless.
come on,
I agree.
Dolvak.
No.
Let's
I
be
think
honest.
there
They're just going
is-
to program in actual gravity. They're going to literally simulate gravity on millions of objects in the solar system, and
and when you accidentally push one out of its orbit, it eventually hits a planet.
yes.
Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're asking about the whole 100-foot tsunami wall. That is a thing.
Yes,
there's a
there's a
planet.
planet.
I forget.
It's
the
actually
name
a
of it.
luxury planet. It's a really, really ridiculously expensive luxury planet where people will bring down and build houses and like live on the houses for a few months until the next giant tsunami comes in and destroys everything, and then they'll rebuild their houses.
That sounds like Florida.
Yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong. It's like our fucking hellhole. It's like our Florida is our Australia. It's where we just send all the criminals and like the alligators.
So
So
And hurricanes.
the whole frozen cloud thing, I'm not sure about like frozen cloud stuff. However, there are like cloud cities, like straight up Crusader. Crusader is a city floating on
Yeah.
like super dense clouds. Like that's what that is.
So, giant like world-spanning events will definitely happen. They've talked about it, especially weather events. Now, the whole meteor thing, I agree with Dolvak. I think that it will happen, but I think they will be one-off events that are actual like events in the game, and not just a procedural system that occasionally crashes things into planets. So that's sort of how I see that happening.
Yeah, like hey, you know, there could easily be something where it's like, hey, like this story in the universe is that the Vondul are literally hurling asteroids into this planet, like they're like and to try to destroy like this whatever, and you have to go like mine the asteroid, and like the UE is gonna go pay you to mine the asteroid and dump just dump it, just to get rid of it. You know, and just that could be something. It's shit like that, sure, but like as one-off story-based things, but not as like a procedural actual system.
Did they solve building underground on a planet? Because I thought the way that they built planets, they couldn't modify the terrain in such a way that if something impacted with it, it would generate a crater. Because of the way that they've implemented the planets.
They can, but it can't be procedural. It has to be done manually. They can do it. They can do it. They just have to do it themselves.
It would be
You couldn't be in the game and watch it happen in real time. They would have to have it as a pre-made
you
either
could,
animation.
You probably could watch it happen in real time, but it wouldn't be like the physics of the impact aren't. It's not what's making that hole. It's an actual art. It's an animation that's digging that hole.
Yeah.
And they did actually recently even address the caves thing, and again they said we can't really make the caves, like we can put caves on planets, we just can't make them procedurally. That's basically their problem there.
They might even be able to at some point figure out a way to procedurally generate the cave system and then manually put in
Place
the
it.
cave entrance and place the cave system. But they
Yeah.
procedurally generate the system itself. Like,
Yeah, I
this
can
is
see that.
CIG we're talking about. They'll fix it.
They'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
Everything is modular.
Watch the prefab
Yeah.
caves.
So the
That's
last
right.
question that we should get to quickly just before we end, because we're almost done. Someone from Europe here, Lasdom says, someone from Europe here, I heard a big portion of the backers, maybe even more than 50%, are from Germany, and that's why they're doing Gamescom every year, and also doing CitizenCon there this year as well. Sorry, it's not a question. Not that many. The percentage is not 50% of...
Here's the stats. I'm gonna break down for you. North America, biggest. Number 2, UK, and then I think like number 3 is the rest of Europe, and then it's Canada, and then you got some some Australia, and then you got some South America mixed in there a little bit. Now
I think Australia
for its size, Germany is like exorbitantly big, but it still doesn't hold a leaf to anything else. Now, that's because the German gaming community is way into sim games. Like sim games are what they play over there. It's kind of like RTSs for Korea. Germany's just way into sim games, so the natural them being in Star Citizen is just kind of the natural reaction. And so there is a larger than average percentage of people into it, but it still doesn't hold a candle to North America or UK or anything else.
It's definitely
I
not
think-
over 50%.
And Canada's probably around even with Germany, to be honest. If you're
I
not
will-
counting all of
that
UK, Canada's
No.
really
I
big.
think at an event that Australia has the largest proportion of backers to population.
Yes, proportional population, yeah. But
Hmm.
I'd like to see where other countries in that are as well, because, hey.
You could get an atlas, and that shows you.
And that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for coming out. Papa Dolvac, what have you been up to lately?
I'm doing the thing. So I'm Papa Dolvac. I stream every single weekday over at Twitch TV/Papa Dolvac. I do things over there around 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Stream a lot of sim games. I've been streaming a lot of Milsim games like Project Argo, which is like a stripped down Arma 3 kind of thing. So doing that, I show up a lot. I help them with relay stuff every so often when I feel like it. And then I work on a machinima series called Bulkheads, which David's been trying to get out of the past few weeks, but I'm not going to let him.
I
and
have
we're
not.
We have a meeting later that you have to show up to because
I know.
I'm going to lecture you. And you can go find that over at bulkheads.tv. And that's very fun. And that's me.
Shiver, what you got going on this week?
Usual from me this week. Dead Air Postcards is back. And any news, I just make the doc for it.
Nakara,
Hello.
hello. Got anything going on this week?
Nothing major. I am planning to get to the Aegis Eclipse sale. I'm gonna take a long look at that one because it was a weird one. that'll also help me prepare for the Nox sale. And before anybody goes, well, that one won't make any money because it's only $40 ship. The Dragonfly made a ton of money.
Yes.
So, it's kind of a bit of an open question as to how it will do. So that's basically me. I'm going to be working on that. And I think that's about it. You know me. I'm here. We're gonna try and do more streams.
Yeah, we're working on
do
a few more stream ideas. One of the things we're considering doing is either Thursday nights or Friday nights, streaming some reactions to ATV, watching through ATV and streaming that. Maybe some more Star Citizen gameplay streams. Who knows? We're gonna keep streaming because, hey, we're affiliates now. I guess we should start streaming. So if you got any ideas of stuff you'd like us to stream, let us know. Shiver?
I should do that relay table either this week or next week.
Well,
Probably
next
this week.
Next week. I think next week we've actually, or no, I think it might be the 27th that we're supposed to have a beef cast. I need to talk with Jake again about that. We've got a beef cast coming up, but yes, we also need another relay table. That'd be great. We've got some other stuff. Let us know. Keep an eye out, as usual, for all of CIG's transcripts over on the site. If you haven't watched last week's podcast, go do so. It's different than we normally do, and I still think it's possibly the best podcast we've ever done. I really, really highly recommend it. Yeah.
Can I interject for a moment? Because the reason I was kind of distracted is I was looking for something.
Yep.
Now, these numbers obviously aren't going to be super accurate because they're from a couple of years ago, but I think the overall makeup of the community is probably not a whole lot different. Also, keep in mind these are skewed because the survey was in English.
Yeah.
However, 52% of backers were from, this is my survey I did, but it had lots of responses. 52% of backers were from the US, 9% from Canada, 7% from the UK, and 6% from Germany. Now, you can maybe say that Germany's in second place because there may have been a bunch of German people who didn't answer my survey, but they're definitely not anywhere near what the US is.
There also could have been a lot of French people that didn't answer your survey because they're French.
Those
French and Italian also. There's.
I was talking Quebec, like in Canada. There's the Quebecers.
Well, yeah. Well, France and
France and Italy too. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
also
There's a lot in Italy as well. But yeah, basically Germany ain't the biggest, and maybe CitizenCon shouldn't be there this year. And on that note, we're gonna end. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We'll see you all next week. I won't be here. I'm on vacation, but someone will be taking my place. So cheers.
This is our new tagline. Relay. We hate Germany.